Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a screencast of a Visual Basic lesson, and today we're looking at creating a basic media player. This will allow us to play audio and video. So this is what we're going to be working towards in today's video. See here, just very basic controls here at the bottom, and you can open any media here. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's create a new project. I am using Visual Studio 2012. Again, this will work 2008, 2010 and 2012, also 2013. So I'm going to create a project, Windows form, called Basic Media Player. I'll stick YouTube on it because I've already done a media player just to show you guys. Okay, so I'm just going to stretch the format slightly. Just do our standard stuff. So the start position, again, center screen. You don't have to do this, just for neating it up. Just change the title to Basic Media Player. You do that by going to the text option. Okay. So now what you want to do is we're going to add 3 controls to this. We're going to add a menu strip. And that will automatically get docked to the top, which is what we want. We want a panel. So just drag that onto there, and we are going to dock that panel to the bottom. I'm just going to rename it control, panel, if I can spell it, there we go, just make that about there. And you're going to want the Windows Media Player control. To get that, just simply right click, go choose items, then go to COM components, scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see Windows Media Player. I've already added it here, but this will use the media player on here. This will work in, this is guaranteed to work in Windows 7 and 8, Vista probably, Windows XP I'm not too sure, but I know it'll definitely work in 7 and 8. Okay, so then click OK. And you will get this control here, the Windows Media Player control. Just simply drag that onto the form. You'll notice it's like the normal media player. And we're going to dock that to full, or to fill it. Next thing we're going to want to do is just name this. So I'm just going to call it WMP for short. Saves us having to type out long names. And you want to come down to the property of UI mode. And you want to type in none for that. So change it from full to none. And notice how it gets rid of these controls, because we're creating our own custom controls. Now, what you want to add is you want to add 5 buttons. So our first button we are going to drag onto there. I'm going to name or call this text in the button play. I'll name this play buttons. Always a good habit to get into naming your controls, and that way when you look at the code you know what's what. So copy and paste that 4 more times. There we go. Should end up with 5 buttons. Change the second button to pause, and you want to change that to the pause button for the name. The third button, we're going to call it the stop button. Again, change the text to stop. This is pretty self-explanatory and obvious here. This one is going to be rewind. Simply call it rewind button. You're probably getting the hint by now. This one is going to be fast forward. Or I'll just call it forward. So, forward button, not too hard. Okay. So, we've added a menu strip. We've got a panel with our 5 buttons, and we've got our media player. I'm just going to make this panel slightly smaller so it looks a bit better. Drag that up to the top left. So then what we can do is drag that down to there. There we go. Okay, so in the menu strip, do not want to open file. In the menu strip, we're going to create a new menu called File. And then in that, create one called Open Media. And create another one called Exit. Again, very basic. The last control we're going to need to add to this is a open file dialog, which is right here. Simply drag that on and it will get added down here. I'm just going to call this open file. For that, for the file name, we can just go choose your media file. I'm not going to be setting any filters in this video because again, this is a basic tutorial for basic users / programmers. Okay, so now we have that, we can now start coding. The code's going to be very simple. First thing we're going to want to do is double click the form, and this will bring us to the form load event. All we simply want to do in this is just type WMP or whatever you named your media player dot, I'm going to refer to it as WMP for the rest of the video, dot UI mode equals, and then in speech marks because it's a string, none. Now you have to do this, otherwise when you start it up it will reset the UI. Okay, so now we've done that, we can now go to click on file and double click on our open media button, and then we're gonna, in here we're gonna type open file or whatever your dialog is dot show dialog, so that will show it, allowing us to pick a file. And then after that we're then going to set the URL of the media player, so WMP dot URL equals open file dot file name. Now it does say it gets the string containing the file name. That's slightly misleading as it actually will return the full path. Okay, there we go. Last thing we want to do is we want to again change the UI mode, otherwise it will be reset when we open the file. So WMP.UI mode equals none. Okay, sorry if I'm going too quick. Anytime you can just rewind the video, of course. Right. Next thing, for our exit option, simply double click on that, and all we're going to type here is end. And that's just going to completely quit the process or end the program. Okay, we don't need to actually program any of the media player, we just need to program these buttons. These 5 buttons is the last thing we need to do. So double click on the play button, and all this is going to be is wmp.ctlcontrols.play. There we go. Pause. Now, what do you think this is going to be? wmp.ctlcontrols.pause. So, if you haven't guessed it already, these CTL controls basically just means those controls you'd normally see in media player, you can control via code using CTL controls. For the stop button, pretty much the same as the other, except for it's going to be stop. So, wmp.ctlcontrols.stop. This one, this button, we don't want to double click it, we want to, so when we hold it down it actually rewinds it, and then when we let go of the mouse, that's when it then will play. So we go over to the lightning tab, which is the events tab, and double click on the mouse down event. Here we want to go wmp.ctlcontrols.fast reverse is what it's called. And then from here you can just go to the drop down box at the top and go down to mouse up. And this is going to be wmp.ctlcontrols.play. So this will play it from the point we fast forwarded to. And then on the forward one we're going to do exactly the same. So come over to the events tab, scroll down to mouse down, double click, then wmp.ctlcontrols.fast forward. Again, then come up to the mouse down drop down here and simply select mouse up. wmp.ctlcontrols.play. And this drop down box is just a quicker way of getting to the events rather than having to go back to the designer. So let's just quickly go over the code. So when the form loads, we want to set the UI mode to none, otherwise the buttons will reappear. Then when we click the open button, we obviously want to show the open dialog. Then when that closes, it's then going to run this code here, which is going to set the URL of the media player. So the media player basically knows where to find the file, and that is going to be the opendialog.file name. Again, we need to reset the UI mode to none, otherwise the buttons will appear again. On the exit button, we're going to end it, so that ends the process. The play button, we're simply going to go wmp.ctlcontrols.play. So obviously this is going to play the media. The pause button, simply just want to pause it. So pause the controls of the media player. Stop button, we're going to stop it. The rewind button, on the mouse down event, we are going to fast reverse the controls, sorry. Then on mouse up event, we are then going to just play it as normal. So that's wmp.ctlcontrols.play. Now for the forward button, it's pretty much the same as the rewind. On the mouse down event, we're going to fast forward the media or the controls. And on the mouse up event, we're just going to carry on playing it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're not going to do any volume controls or anything. That's coming up in an advanced tutorial I'm going to be doing later on. So let's hit start, and we shouldn't get any errors at all. That's a good sign. Now what we need to do here is simply just go to File, open our media. I'm going to select one of my own videos so I don't get in trouble for any copyright. So recording, tech videos, let's see, let's just do an ASUS A54 unboxing, one of my recent videos. So click on open. And here would be playing sound, but I've disabled the sound on the screen recorder so you can't hear it. But you see here it plays the video fine. We can then pause it, play it. Let me see if I can find a better video to show you so it's easier to see. Let's simply go to the vlogs, and actually it should be in Chris Pro Meetup. Yep. Okay, so here if I pause it, you can see I've paused on this derpy face. That's very nice. Play it, it just carries on playing it. Stop, stops the media entirely. You can go back and just click play again and it will reset the media. Fast forward, when I hold it down you can see it's a little bit jerky for the video, but the audio will actually speed up. Let go of it, it carries on playing from when we fast forward it. Again, rewind does the same thing. So hold down on rewind and it will rewind the video. So I'm just going to quickly show you, we'll do music. I'll do royalty free music just in case any sound is picked up. So recording, Negril, royalty free music. I'm just going to click on this one. Again, if music was enabled on my screen recorder, you would hear this, but you can see here the waveform that it is actually playing music. If I pause it, waveform pauses. Play it, stop it, you can fast forward it, and you can rewind it. So that has been this basic VB lesson of coding a basic media player. I hope this has been very helpful. Any questions, feel free to drop me an email at thomas@techiethomas.net or even just comment on this video. So thank you guys for watching and stay tuned until the next VB tutorial, which will be an advanced version of this media player. Bye!